welcome to Lifestles by Lola. I am Lola Jamo. Happy New Year. It's all over. Finally, we got through the holiday season, right? And it's been about everyone else. But now, January, there is nothing going on. You can focus on you. So that's what this episode is about. Ways to add to being a more fun, festive, fabulous you. It's time to pamper yourself and take some time. And, in the midst of that, learn about some of the new and current trends that you might want to get into for this winter season before we enter into spring. So I've got some great segments for you to check out. And by the end of it, I'm sure you will be feeling like you are ready to go for this 2014. As we're in the midst of the winter, everything is cold and dry. And what happens to our beautiful, luscious tresses? They become brittle, broken, and frizzy. So, what is a way to pamper your hair this winter season? Well, this is a little home remedy. It's very simple. I've got a cup of honey. I've got 1/4 olive oil. We're going to mix them together in a bowl and actually apply to the hair. After you've applied it to the hair, you want to make sure you rinse not once, but twice. So let's get it started. I'm going to add in the honey. And the great thing is, honey is not very expensive. It's something that most people usually have in their home, especially if you're a tea drinker like me. So I'm going to put that honey in there and then add the olive oil. And you want to make sure that you really mix the olive oil in. Oil tends to separate from things, but you want to make sure that the honey and olive oil are really kind of married to each other. Once you've stirred it in and mixed it all together, the consistency will look a lot like this. You see the honey kind of takes over, but you'll see the little, I would say, bubbles of the actual olive oil as it basically coagulates with the honey. The consistency will become almost a little bubblier, and you'll see a thickness to it, as you can see as I kind of scoop it out. What you want to do as you're applying this to your hair is start from the actual roots and work your way down. So you're going to section your hair off, You can do 4 parts or you could do 6 parts depending on how thick your hair is. But you want to make sure that you saturate the hair with this. You want to get it all the way into the scalp because it's going to be conditioning and hydrating your scalp. And you want to get it all the way through the hair to the actual ends and those strands that are kind of ratty now and dry. You want to get it into that part of the hair as well. Then, after you've sat for about, I wouldn't say any longer than 30 minutes because the oil is really going to go into the follicles. And with oil, you don't want your hair to come out too greasy, so it's really important that you never keep oil on the hair longer than 30 minutes to an hour. All day is really way too much. It ends up weighing down the hair, and you have to go through too many rinses, which now you're drying the hair out, which defeats the purpose in the first place. So you really want to say 30 minutes, maybe an hour if you feel like it. And then once you've rinsed the hair twice, do your normal shampooing, conditioning, and notice immediately that beautiful shine that you're going to see in the hair and the softness, because that's what this is really about, adding shine, softness, and moisturizing during this dry season where our hair gets brittle and beat up by the cold. This is one way to pamper your luscious tresses so that they are springing and bouncing during this cold winter time. Let's talk trends. There are so many different nail polish colors that come out every season. For spring, for summer, for fall, and also for the winter. there are a lot of really new, interesting, trendy colors that are on the scene. And part of pampering yourself this year might include either doing your own manicure or going to the salon and getting one. And why not stay in trend while you're doing that? So I've got some of the latest colors for this winter season here for you. One that is kind of like the comeback kid. I remember this nail polish in the 80s, funny enough. It's Midnight Blue. It's a dark blue with a shimmer in it. And it's become really popular. In the fall, it started to kind of come out, but you're seeing it a lot more in the winter, paired with a lovely black dress like what I'm wearing now, or something that's even more, young and hip and colorful. But the Midnight Blue is definitely a great color that you're gonna see out, and also you might want to kind of add to your life, either painting it on your fingers or doing it on your toes. Another color that is really popular is the gray metallic. Gold and black has been really big this season, but as far as nails go, gold nail polish is popular, but also silver. This type of a gray silver is really making a huge comeback in ways that, I've seen it in glitter, I've seen it flat like this, and it looks beautiful on the nails or the feet, paired with anything, because it's almost like a neutral. Also, this color, which is almost like, they're calling it ox blood, which is kind of creepy, but it's like a dark burgundy tone. It's very rich. It's more of the concept of doing a darker red shade. That's getting used a lot this winter. It's a really beautiful color paired with something that's deep, like if you're wearing something black or chocolate, those kind of more, I would say, elegant, formal events that require a splash of color. This is a really great way to do that. Next, of course, is traditional red, as always. You can't go wrong. Coming off of the Christmas holiday season, there's nothing more fun than a really high punch of red, especially as we go into February with Valentine's Day coming. So the bright candy apple red, that's definitely in trend right now. And for all my neutral people that do not want to do anything that's too out of the norm, taupe is great. Taupe is a little bit darker than your traditional nudes that you might wear during the summer, or those light kind of pale pinks or pale ivory tones. Nude is a little more darker, it has a little bit more brown in it, but it's a great neutral to do for the winter. And my favorite, the one that I'm actually wearing right now, is this really strange dark green. Green as in forest green, emerald green, has been really big this season. And initially I was kind of like, witch nails. I was thinking of, the Wizard of Oz, and I didn't really get into it. But then I found this flat green, which is almost black. It kind of has a sexy vampness to it. And I love it. I actually have it on right now. It looks great. On fair skin tones, it's lovely. On my complexion, which is a little darker, I think it still looks good. And the greens are kind of a new thing. I didn't see them in trend last season. They're out this season. Emerald green and those rich kind of gem tones are really taking over for the winter. They did in the fall, and they're still around for the cold season. So these are the colors that you should be thinking about as you go to the salon, or maybe you want to pick up and do your nails yourself. And think about pampering yourself and also staying within the trend while you're doing this. Because the main thing about it is focusing on you now, since all the months before us, it was all about the holidays and paying attention to everyone else. So try some of these colors, and I'm sure they'll work for you. Now is a time where you want to still be warm, but also maintain your fashion sense. So I've got all the new trend ideas for you to stay fashionable and fabulous for this winter because again, now is the time about you. One of the things that I've noticed that has been really big, as you can look at my dress, is gold and black. The pairing of gold and black is everywhere, from detailings of gold zippers on black fabric to, gold earrings, gold chains. All of that stuff is back, and it's better than ever paired with black because now it's more chic, it's more elegant, and it has a slight rock edge to it. But because it's gold versus silver, it's a little more classic and rustic, which is really cool. So these tips are for you to incorporate into kind of what you have, or maybe think about things that you already have that you can pair with these types of elements to stay on trend and stay fashionably fabulous. One thing that has been really big that I've noticed are crosses. Gold crosses have come back. I have this skirt right here that has gold crosses all over it with kind of like a metal, almost finish looking, and it's a tight kind of spandex tube dress, or you can actually wear it as a pencil skirt as well. But you see the black and gold incorporated there, and it matches with my gold cross earrings. This could easily be paired with a black turtleneck or a chunky black sweater, some really cool boots that are black, with a nice opaque stocking. You're warm, you're in trend with black and gold, and you're fashionable. Another way to incorporate the black and gold is doing something even a little more, bright by doing a gold sweater. The metallic sweaters are really popular. Some have, sequences on them. Some just have the actual finish like this. Kind of has a rustic kind of gold tone finish to it. It almost looks like it's been painted on. Something like this is lovely under a black blazer with black slacks, or paired with black leggings, and a circle black scarf. It's really warm, trendy, and going into the whole black and gold scheme, which I love. The other thing that I had, which is a little maybe younger, a little more hipper, are black and gold sequence shorts. Sequences are back, right? It's all about sparkle and fabulousness. So something like this with the black and gold sequences is great with a pair of black opaque tights, some shoe boots, or even a high boot that comes over the knee. You can again pair them with a turtleneck. You could pair them with a black t-shirt and a blazer if you want to do something more casual. And what's nice about this is that you're within trend, but you're doing it subtly. Even my dress, having the gold details, is with its trend. But you would never know that I've had this dress for years. It's really seeing what's out there, seeing what you have, and incorporating everything together. It's not about going out and buying everything you see. You get a few pieces. Maybe you get the skirt because it's super funky and you like it and you don't have anything like it at home. Maybe you get the earrings, but in the midst of that, you've already got black blazers, black t-shirts, black leggings. Those are the things that you don't have to buy because they're classic pieces. They work with everything. And in the midst of that, you can still stay in trend without going over budget, and most importantly, maintain your warmth and fashion for this winter. It is freezing out, and we're all trying to maintain the warmth and sanity of our bodies and minds. So I've got 5 simple tips, very simple, for you to stay warm in the freezing cold that we're dealing with right now out there. Tip number 1, drinking water. I know it seems kind of like, what? What does that have to do with my body warmth? But funny enough, water actually helps to insulate our bodies just as much as it helps to cool our bodies off in the summertime. So drinking plenty of water and staying hydrated is the best way to fight against the brr of this winter season. Tip number 2, wearing layers. Now, a lot of people don't like to wear layers. Most people feel like they just want to wear a big coat and keep, maybe a t-shirt and a sweater and call it a day. The problem with that is that if you get hotter or colder, you can't accommodate. You take the big coat off and you're freezing. You keep the big coat on and you're sweating. By wearing layers, you allow yourself to be comfortable depending on what atmosphere you are in at the time, depending on whether you're in the car that's heated, walking to your office where it's actually cold because you're outside, or even whether you're entering into someone else's home and they kind of have their own, feelings about how cold or hot it should be. You want to make sure that you maintain your comfort. So it makes sense to, in layering, think about long johns, sports apparel that you can wear under your clothes that will keep you warm, and also having something like a sweater or even a blazer or a jacket that you can kind of take on and off amongst just wearing your jacket and your scarf and hat and all that stuff. Tip number 3. The thing that I think, is probably the most simple to remember, but people forget, is wearing your hat, your gloves, and keeping your feet warm. Extremities are the things to get cold the quickest and make you the most miserable when they are cold. So it's really important to have very warm gloves that keep your hands warm. It's very important to keep the heat in by having a warm hat. And it's also important to keep your feet warm as well by wearing warm socks and insulated boots and things like that. The last thing, or actually the fourth thing I should say, is also staying dry. Staying dry is something that is kind of a given, but we forget about it. A lot of times it's raining or it's snowing out in the cold, and we kind of go out there and we bear it. And if we're not dressed properly, that can lead to us catching a cold and also being cold in that environment. If it's raining, instead of wearing a down coat, that might be the opportunity for you to wear a raincoat that's going to protect that water from getting in and making you feel damp and wet. Maybe layering that on top of some kind of a parka is a better idea than just wearing your regular bubble goose that's going to get wet and actually end up not really keeping you warm once all the feathers and everything are dampened inside of the coat. And the last tip, which is kind of an old school remedy from my, young days with grandma, is petroleum jelly. For a lot of different reasons. I don't know about you, but my skin gets chapped in the winter. My lips get chapped in the winter. My skin cracks in the winter. And petroleum jelly is a really great way to kind of coat the skin to protect it from the elements, which ultimately does help in keeping you warm. I like to put a thin layer on my face if it's really cold and below zero. I also like to put a thin layer on my lips or use some type of a lip balm treatment on my lips to prevent them from cracking and, getting chapped in the weather. And also on my hands as well. Doing these 5 little simple tips, I guarantee will help you to get warm, stay warm, and maintain your comfort while you bear the burr of this winter season in the upcoming months. So definitely try these 5 tips and see how they work for you while staying warm and toasty wherever you are in the winter. Getting into the mode of pampering has to do not only with trends and nail polish colors and all of the jazz that I was talking about earlier, but also about taking care of what people see first. Your lovely, amazing face and skin and body. I have a quick tip for when you run out of your favorite exfoliator. A great way to save the day: brown sugar. It is a great natural exfoliator. So when you're in a pinch, or if you want to just exfoliate because you normally don't, brown sugar is a great way to add that exfoliating power to your body gel for the body and even to your face wash. Best way to do it, I love these little travel bottles. You can make one personal, treatment for yourself in something like this size. I've already got some bath gel in there, or you can also put face wash depending on what you'd like to do, and a funnel. What's great about these travel bottles is that they have a wide enough opening for you to add something to it. That's the whole purpose. So I take my lovely funnel, have that down in there, and put equal parts into the actual funnel of brown sugar. And as that kind of goes down in there, you'll see that it's gonna pretty much kind of sit on top of the actual, there it goes. It's gonna sit on top of the actual, and I don't even need all of it. It's gonna sit on top of the body wash. Then I'm gonna shake it up, shake it up, shake it up. And as you can see, it kind of takes on a life of its own. And the sugar mixes with your bath gel, it mixes with your face wash. You're gonna get that kind of a brownish tone, and you'll see all of the granules mixed in. Now is the best time to use it. As soon as you mix it, you wanna use it because the granules are slowly gonna melt, as they would if they were in any liquid, like a beverage that you were drinking, tea, juice. If you were cooking something, sugar melts. So as soon as you add it to your face wash or to your body wash, you want to use it within that day, which is why having it in a small bottle like this for travel is the best way to do it, because this is a perfect amount for me to take a fast shower or a nice lovely bath. And if I'm using it on my face, the same thing. You only really need a little, so putting it into a travel bottle is the best way to go. A little bit of sugar, some face soap or body that you already have, and you've got a great way to exfoliate, or replacing your exfoliator when you're in a pinch and you don't have time to kind of run out and get your favorite exfoliator that you normally use. So a little bit of sugar, a little bit of soap goes a long way when we're pampering our skin and getting rid of those dead skin cells and that dull, unglowing skin during this winter season. I hope that you enjoyed our show and you are geared up and ready for 2014. This is going to be such a great year for all of us. So I hope that the tips that we talked about are just a little add-on to your resolutions and things that you're going to do for you to be better this year. Also, don't forget to follow us on Facebook. We're on Facebook under lifestylesbylola.com. And also, of course, you can always go to the website www.lifestylesbylola.com, where you can ask questions, watch previous episodes, and also find out additional information about things that are going on with the show. If you have any questions or comments, that's really the best place to leave them also, or on the Facebook page. Don't forget to like our Facebook page, of course, and also the website, and get the word out there. This show is for you. So the more people watching and that are involved, the better that it's definitely going to be for this 2014. Live life.